Let's get that a little bit better. Hey everybody, this is Ericka from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you today with a Grant Cardone book review. If you're not first, you are last. This book I have read twice, and I think I need to read a third time because there are some jewels here. And if you read it at different points in your day or your week or your sales cycle, because we are in fourth quarter living, you're going to take away some different points, right? So let's just say at this point, let me give you a breakdown of who Grant Cardone is. Grant Cardone has put in 32 years working in sales. He helps car dealerships make sales, make quotas, help sales guys get better, knowing that it's not their skill they're lacking. They're just short on, if they're short on money, it's because they're short on people. And the more people you meet, the more sales you can make, etc., etc. Closing. I even has his close the deal app. It's really good. So there are like 4 responses to a recession because he wrote 4 books during a recession. And most people are going to go, he wrote 4 in a recession? Yes. And guess what? We'll have another recession. And people seem to forget every 6 to 7 years, like, oh my God, we have another recession on our hands. It is a financial cycle. It is how our country has always happened. So this one might be a little bit heavier though coming up. But there are 4 responses usually to that. Is the cheerleader response. I refuse to participate in the recession. I'm going to keep on acting like life is normal and everything is same as yesterday. Sorry, you can't use that technique because it's just not. It's not the same. Economies change. When the housing market went under, there are plenty of real estate agents that went out the door with it. You have to be really realistic with yourself and know that even though you don't want to participate, it might affect you. Because see, Grant Cardone, he had lots of rental property, but he had stuff tied up in one bank. And so when that bank had a moment, he had a financial moment. So it's one of those things where you're like, if you put all your eggs in one basket, hey, you're going to have to participate. Just like the people in Charleston, South Carolina and Columbia, where there was a once in a 200-year flood, all the realtors, all the people who had real estate investments, all those people's economy came to a stop and is now adjusted because either you have renters with water damage, you have rental properties with water damage, you have houses you can't sell because, oh no, they had damage. So you can't sit there and put your head in the sand and say, I'm just going to not participate. Well, sometimes it hits you. All the people that got hit with the last recession in Florida, they didn't get an option. They were participating, okay? Old school response. Let's get back to the basics, right? We're going to talk to people. We're going to close deals. Trust me, I worked at Best Buy at the time Circuit City was about to go under, and we would go across the street for deals all the time because there were all these sales deals. And I think Circuit City in the last days were kind of like, hey, just talk to people more and we're going to make more sales and we're going to be cheaper than Best Buy. And that just did not work because it had been so long and they had been so complacent of this new blue shirt crew coming in that they didn't care. They didn't realize that they were competing and not dominating. So now you have the same thing happening to Best Buy where they're the only kid on the block. And that's why so many people go online to online retailers, because they are not applying the old school technique of talking to people, closing sales, and providing the best services. I've been in a couple Best Buys lately and it's sad because it's like half empty. Half the computers aren't there, half the cameras aren't there. There's there's like 7 selections of TVs and that's it, you know? So it's kind of crazy, but a big shift, definitely a big shift. The quitter mentality. We all know the quitters who are like, we can't sell cars this month because of it's summer. We can't sell cars this month because it's winter. We can't sell houses because, oh, the best one. I live in Austin, Texas. 168 people move there a day. And people will say, well, you know, it's the winter time. I just can't sell any houses. Looked at the actual sales report of last year. A ton of houses, more than normal, were sold during the winter. So whenever I meet new agents or agents who are like, well, you know, I'm not doing any open houses in the wintertime. And I go, why not? Well, nobody's buying. That's a quitter response, okay? Just like you had a whole batch of like real estate investors and real estate agents who just got completely taken out. Just taken out. The last recession, it'll happen again. People don't pay attention. They don't save any money. They don't invest in multiple regions. They just get taken out. So, and then you have the fourth, which is the advance and conquer, where you're like, I am dominating this space. I even put a course together called Small Towns, Big Profits, because I knew if people go in their small town and they like dominate, they like drop YouTube videos with their name of their town in it all the time, they become the sphere of influence, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, on the local radio. People are like, who is that person? You're the go-to person in that town for information, whether it's real estate, events, social, social director kind of status, like, party promoter kind of status. Like, you want that. You want to dominate, and you want people to come to you because they're like, man, that person is, blanketing this area with their knowledge, their skill, and just their presence. And so you want to do the advance and conquer. And a big part of the advance and conquer is you need to stay in the game. Period. You need to stay in the game. You need to push forward. You need to keep going. A lot of times it's very easy for a company, a sales department, or just people at a real estate office to just go, ain't no houses moving. Ain't no sales being made. I can't get anything done. Listen, it's everything's cyclical, but you have to actually put some grind in and push forward. So, and check your power base. That's one of the first easiest things to do is get out a sheet of paper, write 140 people you know. And sometimes if you're a pretty big deal in your town, if you're doing what you're supposed to, if you're dominating, if you're going to social events, you're doing whatever, you can write down 200 people. There's a lot of kids coming out of college with 5,000 Facebook friends. Now, do they know everybody? No, but I would want them to write down a list of the people they know the best, and then they'll know the least, as keep writing the list till you go further out, and then actually make personal visits. A lot of people are like, I don't have any real friends. Well, guess what? If you got 5,000 Facebook friends, you need to start making some personal visits. Why? Because a personal visit, one, is equal to 10 phone calls. And that's the same in sales. So I've met people who left college, had this big group of friends, and they went into real estate in Raleigh and Charlotte. And boom, they were making money. There were people who went into finance. Boom, making money. There are people who went into car sales and they just said, hey man, you need a car? And a lot of kids were like, I just graduated college, I need a new car. And they made a bunch of sales that year. Now, if they kept the sales up, that's for them to be known. I don't really remember, but I know that first year coming out, they made sure they make themselves. So check your power base. I tell that with everybody. If you want to start a business, write down the 150 people you know. And then just look within that list. Is there anybody on this list that can help me or be helpful? If not, what I recommend you do is meet 2 new people a day. I've always said it, 2 new people a day is a great way to get started. And people go, 2 new people a day, Ericka? Listen, if you go to a happy hour, you go to social events, you go to a conference on a weekend, you could meet 25 people at the conference you have connections with. And then that conference took care of you for the month or whatever, right? There's all kinds of ways to get to the 2 people a day, just talking to people you're interacting with, lunchtime, any time of the day, right? So a lot of times what happens in a recession, people shrink. They go, we gotta save the budget. We gotta stop buying all these extra supplies. People gotta stop stealing supplies from the office. We just got to condense and save ourselves. When really you should be doubling your budget. I mean, right now there are places on the radio station, which radio is a great example because sometimes radio stations, they get a little big for their britches and then they realize everybody's on Sirius radio or people are tuning out or people are playing CDs or MP3 players. So radio positions sometimes get really cheap. Sometimes magazine spots get really cheap because in a recession, the people that were the big ad managers, they're like, peace out, saving us some dough. And the local markets, the smaller newspapers, the smaller magazines, they might go out of business without the ads. So you could probably tap into the smaller magazines and just get whole pages. Once I found out how much you could get from Business Insider and Success Magazine from home, you can get a whole page for pretty darn cheap. But anyway, so expand into your area more. Now, what I tell people is I don't want you on every social media platform and everything you do. Make it easy on yourself. Just do YouTube videos and upload them to Facebook and YouTube. Boom. 2 places at once and done. Just dominate in that area. Okay, so you need to be positive, you need to be assertive, and you need to be in control and be of service. Listen, there's so many people when a recession happens, they freak out, layoffs are going off, they just say no, and you just keep giving them good phone calls and giving good emails and checking in. And guess what? About that fifth sale, that fifth contact, and sometimes it's called 33 touches in real estate. People are like, I'm ready. I'm ready to make a sale. I'm ready to go. And that's why on YouTube, so many people make sales of their products and their services and their books, because guess what? They'll do 33 videos, about this one product, and people will watch all 33 videos. So by the time they've seen all 33 videos, they're like, I need to buy this product. I need to do it now. I mean, that's how Grant got me. I was watching his show on YouTube and I was like, I've got to get this book. He keeps talking about it and I don't know what's going on. So, okay. But yeah, it's important to do that, right? So 80% of the business is made after the fifth call. So a lot of people give one or two calls and they go, well, I don't want to bother them. If you believe what you are selling or doing is so powerful, you keep calling and you keep asking people. Now, with my limit where it comes to network marketing, you keep showing me the improvement in your life and value added in your life from your network marketing company, and then that's how people join. If you're doing videos, if you're reading books, if you're changing as a person, people will want to gravitate towards you. It's called attraction marketing. And I believe in an equal amount of push and pull. If you're in sales, yeah, you need to make sales, you need to make phone calls. But if you are in some of these network marketing companies, chill. Let the people come to you. Let them come to you. Ray Higdon is the 3-minute expert. It's good stuff. So this has been my conclusion of the Grant Cardones. If you're not first, you're last. Listen, people, there's a reason why Google AdWords makes sense, why Google Ads makes sense. When you search something, the first 1, 2, or 3 things you might go click on. After that, maybe not. So being that number one spot is important. Being up there high is important. And so that's why it's important for people like Mike Chan, Ty Lopez, all these people who started just adding money to their YouTube ads, because they knew if I got to number one spot, you'd find me. And not only you find me, you'd make purchases from me because you knew I was number one. So again, this is Ericka from the Classy Con blog. Check out Grant Cardone's book. If you're not first, you're last.